Tom kali ini. Oh, ini dia 3 lawan 3 Profesor Tom Haye.
Welcome back at the highway. We're back in the studio.
It's been a while.
And Tom is back.
I'm back.
People missed you last week.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh.
At the episode with Eric Trujillo. We will discuss that later. We have a very special guest.
If I look at the amount of viewers, they didn't miss me.
It was good, huh?
Yeah.
I was really happy with the result.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I want to give you a compliment.
Why?
Because I really enjoyed watching the episode also.
Is that for the first time you enjoyed it?
No, but but I think you did really well. It was a really fun episode to watch, and also from the KNVB perspective and from Mr. Eric here, I think also it was a really clear story. So it was really fun to watch.
Yeah, it was really good. I got a lot of messages also from people from the PSSI. They really enjoyed it, and they said you should do a second episode in Jakarta in March. So we're working on that. But very, very important. Look what's on the table. Show it to the people. You're so happy. Is it your first prize in your career?
I think we almost tripled the number already, but finally.
Hey! But seriously, is it your first prize?
My first prize?
In your career?
No, I won the Euros under 17 2 times.
Oh, okay. That's even bigger. But
this is a big one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm really proud of it.
But like we have to wait until 1 million, right? Now.
Yes, I think so. There's no 500,000 reward or anything.
So I think we're up nearly to 300,000. Talking about the episode of last week with Eric here, like you have had many conversations with him before, but he was so laid back. He was so relaxed. I was just thinking he's one of the most influential persons of Indonesia.
But that's what you do with people.
No. Don't give me too many compliments.
You make them happy.
But what I saw is someone who's really smart, but he's also really a football guy.
Yeah, of course. But I think if you're disinvested in the development of football for a country, I think it's not possible to do it or have the vision without loving the game as well.
Yeah. Did you know a lot about the KNVB and the PSSI, those plans?
No, honestly, no. Like I said, also.
What's this?
You know about this?
I'm just clapping. No.
You're a little bit too early.
It's tomorrow. On Sunday, it's your birthday. A big 30.
Oh, yeah.
So I was thinking, what present can I give you? And I thought, I'm going to give you a big, big cake. But like, hey, you're playing a game. So I came up with something else. Let's look at it.
No, are you serious?
Hello Tom, I wish you a very happy birthday, your 30th birthday, and a lot of luck, and stay in good shape because our team needs you a lot in Sydney. Hopefully we see each other in Sydney or otherwise in Indonesia. See you.
Happy 30th birthday, and I'm really proud of you.
Feestje Tom. El Professor, the highway, our Asian star. But for me it is Tom Haye. And you know why, Tom Haye. 30 years old, what an age, congratulations my friend. And one thing is really important for next year. You have to step up the game, my friend. Not in football, but in Wizard. Now it's Europa League, even Conference League, but we need to go to Champions League, Tom. You have to improve. That's the big goal for the next year. And probably I will see you tomorrow. Congratulations again. And have a really, 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 really great day today. And see you. Bye-bye.
Hello, my friend. Happy birthday. Enjoy the 30s.
Wow, this is really...
See you soon.
Happy birthday, man. You're turning 30. That's a really big milestone. I love you so much. And I'm beyond proud. I hope all your dreams will come true. And we will be here to support you. Whatever you're going to do, wherever you go. We believe in all your dreams. And we love you so, so much. We're happy that you're in our lives. And we can't wait to celebrate it with you. So my love, mwah. I see you at home.
Hello, Tom. Congratulations, my friend. with your birthday. I hope you have a good day. We have a lot of memories in on the field and off the field. So enjoy, and it was always a pleasure to play with you. And the memories like your shooting, your free kicks, it's amazing. And I hope to see more of that in Indonesia and in Holland. Good luck, my friend, and happy birthday again. See you.
Hi Thomas, my Indonesian friend. Congrats, my friend, with your 30th birthday. I want to wish you all the best and see you soon, of course, especially on the golf course. And since you became 30 now, I think it's time to grow up, especially when you're playing golf. I don't want to see any bad behavior anymore when you're losing again against me. See you soon, my friend. Ciao, ciao.
Hi, Tom. This is your proud dad speaking. Congratulations with your 30th birthday. Fantastic to see how you have grown from your diapers to the person that you have become now. It's fantastic to be able to experience together with you all the great things that are going on at the moment and all the experiences that you have. Extremely proud to be able to see all that, and wish you a great birthday. And we will beat Neil someday with paddle. Don't worry.
Wow, what a surprise.
It's a big surprise. You're nearly getting emotional.
Yeah, my dad was speaking too long. No, it's really nice.
But it's your birthday tomorrow. So for everyone who's listening, you can send a nice message to Tom.
Thank you everyone for the messages. It's really nice to see.
And then especially for your birthday, we have a great guest. It took a while to get him in the podcast, but he's finally here. Kevin Dix! So, Kevin.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Yeah, you had to wait. Normally what we do, when we have a guest like you or other guys, we get them directly in the show. But yeah, we organized this with the whole video, so I had to let you wait for a little bit. But I'm happy you're so patient. It took a while to make this this recording, but finally we're here. How are you doing?
I'm doing actually really good. I'm in preseason still because Denmark, we start in February, but yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, and you're playing for the #1 in Denmark, FC Copenhagen, and you have news because you're rejoining a big team in Germany this summer.
Yes, I go to Borussia Mönchengladbach in the summer. I was here from January. I could sign with other teams, so I decided very quickly so I can focus here.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I texted him as well.
Yeah.
It's a really nice step.
It's a really big team also, in Germany.
Yeah, and
it's a Traditionsverein.
Yes, exactly. The Bundesliga is, of course, one of the best leagues.
Yeah.
And I asked Kevin also, because Copenhagen is also a big club.
Yes.
And a beautiful city. So I asked him, we're doubting to stay.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe Kevin can tell more about it, why you made the choice.
Yeah, because it's like let's say 1 year ago, and half a year ago, when they tried to sign me a new contract, it was a bit difficult because the bigger teams also came from the bigger leagues, and then also, as a player you have ambitions, of course. So that was more for me interesting than staying here. Of course, we love it here. My wife, my daughter, we love it here. My daughter is born here. I've been here this is my 4th season in Copenhagen. Denmark is amazing. The city is amazing. It's really safe, and we loved it here, and we would be happy to stay. But when a top 5 league comes is a bit difficult. Also in the last summer, I had options, like really concrete options to go, but Copenhagen didn't let me go last summer. So now I think it was, I'm transfer free, so it was the right time to go for me and try my level in the top 5 league, of course.
Yeah, and it's also nice to see when you move to Denmark, and if you look at that level and the level you are at now, you're a really big player at FC Copenhagen.
I'm too, how you say, humble for that. But
no, but you know what I mean. You're a really important part of this team that is #1 in Denmark at the moment.
Yeah, I've contributed in my way, of course. I was not always in the beginning. It was a bit more difficult, but I really grew into this club, and at the moment it's going really well. And we've played Champions League twice together, and I got 2 Danish championships and a cup. So I got a lot of like luggage I take with me, and yeah, they see that also, and they respect me in a good way.
Yeah, and I know what is really funny because
we're happy with
with 100K, and he has 2
and he
titles.
wins championships.
Yeah. But you know what's really funny? Kevin listens to the podcast, and he did his homework, because normally I would ask, hey, have you guys played against each other? Who won? Kevin knows the answer already.
Yes.
Yeah.
We played 6 times against each other.
6 times.
Yeah, you won.
Actually, I was thinking about this today.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really remember.
No?
How many times do you think you won from the 6 times?
We played a few games that you were still in Vitesse also?
I think in Vitesse and then in Feyenoord.
In Feyenoord, against Feyenoord we didn't win. Maybe maybe with us 1 or 2 I won.
You won twice and I won 4.
4. Hey, but this is we have a guest who did his homework.
Yeah, but I appreciate it because Kevin sent me messages a lot when he's listening, or he even shared it when he was listening. So it's fun that you get messages from your teammates, and of course it's really appreciated that he actually really enjoys it, but also supports it as well. So.
Yeah, that's really important. That's really nice. It's really nice that he's listening and supporting it. Looking back when you guys played against each other, what do you remember? What kind of player is Tom on the field when you're playing against him?
What I remember, Tom is sometimes emotional.
Sometimes?
But of course,
he's always emotional.
But an intelligent player, and he knows. Like football, in Holland we say voetbalgochme. I think Tom has that a lot.
Yeah.
A very intelligent player. So that was what I remember. But I remember one time we played against each other. I think it was -15. We played in the Kuip.
Oh, wow.
It was really cool. And we played that, it was for the cup. I think it was semi-final.
Who? Where you were playing for?
AZ.
Or Willem II?
I think. Willem II?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a good achievement.
I think it was quarter or semi-final. If I'm right, semi-final.
No, semi-final. Willem II got to the semi-final.
Also with NAC Breda, I also played the semi-final against Feyenoord. Every time it's Feyenoord. Every time we lose in the semi-final.
Yeah. And what's your memory of Kevin on the pitch? Against him, because you're teammates now, but against him.
Then I have to go way back. Like
I'm a different player now.
Yeah, but of course when he played for Vitesse still, he was like an upcoming talent. From I think right away he started playing a lot in the Eredivisie.
Yeah.
And actually you were also pretty young when you left already to go and play abroad. So.
Yeah. But I think, and I discussed it in the FC Afkikken show during the week, that I'm so proud of Kevin. It's really strange for me to say, but he's been through a lot in his life. And if you see what he achieved, maybe it's good also to share with the people in Indonesia, because you started off really, really good in your career at Vitesse. You were a big talent. You played a lot. You made a move to Italy, to a really big team, Fiorentina. I always think about Fiorentina, about the show, the jerseys with Nintendo on them. Remember that?
Oh, no.
No, it's before your time.
Yeah.
Do you remember it, Kevin, or not?
I've seen the pictures.
But Neil is a little bit older.
Gabriel Batistuta?
Yeah,
Batigol?
of course,
that's a memory for life. But
the city.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah? I've never been.
I love Italy, but also this region it's beautiful.
No, Tuscany is amazing, and Florence is it's like a museum when you walk out your home.
Yeah. So everything looked going perfectly for you in the beginning of your career, but then what happened?
Yeah, so when I didn't play in Fiorentina the first 6 months, I went back to Vitesse. They gave me game time, so I went back. But I was so eager, when you're young, you want to show and you want to show everybody how good you are. But I was not in the right mindset, so I had actually really bad half season in Vitesse when I was back. I think I had almost as many games as yellow cards. and then And then, yeah, in the summer, Feyenoord came. And then I was like, yeah, I can never say to the club you support when you were young, you know, when you were young, you would support Feyenoord, Ajax or PSV when you're young. And Feyenoord came, so I could never say no. So I said yes. But if you look back at it, maybe it was not the right idea, because the pressure is always there in Feyenoord, like it's constant. And if you don't play as a young player, it's a bit more difficult to get continuity, you know, like it's a bit more difficult. So I started off bad. I had a bad half season. All the supporters in Feyenoord actually, yeah, I will not say hated, but like didn't want me there. Sometimes when I did a warm up, they told me like, go back to Italy. You know, like, you know how bad words they can say in the Feyenoord
You're
stadium.
still pretty young also.
How old were you that time?
I think, I don't remember correctly, but maybe I was 21.
Wow. Yeah.
But even, maybe it's good to explain for the people, because Feyenoord is one of the big teams.
Yeah.
But also the stadium, it's the best atmosphere in the Netherlands. And
it can be, but it can also be really...
but I mean, like for a lot of people, also when you play against Feyenoord, there's a word for it in Dutch, kuipvrees, but they say like...
being afraid of playing.
Yeah, there's like a certain fear, because it's really intimidating.
Yeah.
So I can imagine if you're young, but you're also playing for the team, and you get this negativity, especially on that age.
What did it do with you?
Like, you know, you always try to think like it doesn't bother me, you know, but of course it bothers you, because the whole stadium, when I got the ball, sometimes they even whistled when I had the ball, just because I did wrong for some matches, you know. And of course, it's not my intention to play bad or to do wrong passes. So that half year, like, of course, it was really difficult, but it also made me grow a lot into a football player I am today. Because after that half season, when I didn't play, I think it was Nieuwkoop and me were both on the bench for Sint-Juste. When Sint-Juste got an injury, I started playing again, and then I got better, and it went way better because I played match after match after match.
Yeah.
So I won a cup there, and then after that half season, it was really good actually how I ended. Then I went back to Fiorentina, and I thought, okay, I played Champions League. I've done actually the last half season. I did really well. I thought maybe they want to keep me to let me stay and play in Fiorentina. So I thought that was the best step for me in terms of, you know, football wise, to make a small step and play again. And I even trained with the first team with Holland in the summer before we went on a training camp with under 21s. I was with 6-7 players. From
that's right. Yeah.
Yes, I trained with some players in the first team when the Premier League boys were not there.
Yeah.
So then I thought, okay, it's going really well. So it's not for no reason I can train with them, and I'm going to Fiorentina. But then I got a big injury in Fiorentina after a really good preseason. I had a really good preseason. Like, they told me first I could leave. Every week they said, Pioli was the coach. He said, no, Kevin, you stay. One more week. Okay, one more week. But because I was doing really well and I really loved it there. But then at the end of the preseason, when the market was finished, he put the center back Milenkovic on the right back.
No,
I haven't played a minute, and I did warm up every game, and yeah, then I was like, what is happening, you know? And then I got a big injury on my knee, and then I felt like they left me to the side, you know, like I was doing rehab the day after when I was not even well diagnosed. And I was doing rehab with a physical coach when there was no physio or doctor for me. I was like, they didn't care about me. That's how I felt. And then I went to Empoli when I started to get fit a little bit as part of a deal with Rasmussen. I went to Fiorentina for 7 million euros, I think, and they got me on loan. But I was still injured, so I went there just for, I could live in Florence, but I play in Empoli. But I never played. I was injured half of the time. So I was, at one point, I was really sick of it. I had a time where I was not getting my salary in Italy, you know, that happens sometimes. And then I was sick of it. And then I said, okay, you know what? I said to my agent, I called him, the agent I still have from 16 to now. I said, I need to go and go to my own physio because I can't do this anymore. I'm struggling for nothing. It was the same in Empoli. I didn't feel like I was important. How you want to be felt, like how you want to feel as a football player. So I went to Belgium, and I told you this already, Neil. I was there for 4 months, I think. I paid this out of my own pocket. I did everything for myself, and that was a really difficult period because the people there in Move to Cure in Antwerp, they were really amazing. I still have contact with them. I still sometimes see them. They are amazing. They let you feel like an important person, and they care about you to get fit again, you know. And I was working there maybe 2-3 times a day with the physios, and yeah, but then still sometimes I had pains, and then you're still thinking like, what am I doing, you know?
But it was maybe your lowest point in your career, right? That
100%, because sometimes I'm in the car. I was living with a friend, and sometimes he lives in Berg op Zoom, and I was driving to Antwerp, and one time I also sleep in the week. I sleep in Antwerp in an apartment. So when I was driving this 45 minutes alone in the car, you're thinking, what am I doing it for? It's not working. Am I destroying my body or trying to get fit again when it's not working? I had pains, but luckily I got over it. It went better and better. They helped me through a lot. The people over there, they also, like, sometimes I tell players, physios are also psychologists. They help you a lot.
It can be the
yes.
right ones, yes.
Yeah.
Depends on who, not of course. But
you also recognize that sometimes, like the physio room is like a safe space for all the players to.
Yes.
Sometimes whine a little bit or talk about some frustrations. It's always the physio room where everybody feels
goes
free
there
to speak,
and,
you know.
And leaves the anger or irritation. It's just like there. But yeah, then got better, and then I got a call from my agent saying like, maybe it's time to look at the next step because you need to enjoy playing football again. And then I had a friend he played in Brøndby before. His agent he called to Denmark, and they said maybe Kevin Dix can be an option. And then Peter Christiansen, who was an AGF, he's now director in Wolfsburg, he was like, what? Is he available? He said yes, but he needs 2 months of training and physio training before he can enter the team. So he said, that's an expensive player for Denmark, but I love him, so I need him. So he took me to AGF, Aarhus in Denmark. Aarhus, yes. Actually, a really nice city. Yeah. It's small, but really nice. And that I think it was perfect for me to get back into like loving football again and loving to play the game, you know. And I really appreciate how the physios over there also work with me. They took me like their own kid, for example. They did everything with me to make sure I was able to love football and to be strong to play football again. And over there, yeah, my career came back again, came back to life. I had a really good 2 years over there. Scored a lot of goals as well. We won a medal because in Denmark, if you get the first or second or third, you get a medal. And for ours, that was a big thing. After a very long time, no medals. We went third, so they were really happy.
I didn't know that. This is really cool.
Wow, this is the first time I hear about it.
I think it's also the only league in the world.
Probably.
Maybe, I don't know, but I was also surprised when I heard it. Yeah. But then Peter Christiansen went to Copenhagen and eventually he took me. And yeah.
But if it's impressive. But if you look at the resume, the names of the clubs,
it's insane, right?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, but I think this is really important because we talk a lot about it. Like you guys get a lot of attention. You know, people always say, "Oh, they have a great life." You know, only on the pitch for training. That's their work. They get a lot of money, a lot of attention. But every player I've met in my life has a story like Kevin. It's not always that deep, like how deep Kevin was, but there's always also a down part in the life of football players. And I think it's always good to share. If you're open to share it, it's so good for listeners, for fans, but also for other players to get inspiration out of it.
I think
not always. Yeah. It's always like, of course, I understand people say that, what you said. Mm-hmm. They have a good life, they get a lot of money, and I get that. And I think most of us, also Tom is very humble in this, that we appreciate what we have and what you have. But yeah, the difficult part is the part I've been through, and I think many football players have been through, that there could be a period that everything is going against you, and that's what not a lot of people see, and what you have to get through to be able to get where you are.
Sometimes people forget you're just a
human being. Yeah. I was looking at your stats, but it's impressive. Nearly 160 games, and 20 goals and 19 assists. But it's insane for a defender.
Yeah, but I have to say that since last year I started to take penalties.
So try to explain that to us.
Yeah, it was so funny because when he joined Timnas, we were on training and he was taking, I think he was taking penalty kicks, and we talked about it. And I said like, you take penalty kicks, and he was like, yeah, I never missed, and you know, and I was like, I didn't expect it from him.
No,
and I didn't know he was taking the penalty kicks at Copenhagen, and then he showed the stats. And he never missed.
But Kevin,
crazy.
So just one day you went to practice in preseason and you thought, hey, let's go. I'm going to take the PKs.
So in Copenhagen, we had a kind of a problem when people start to miss penalties.
Yeah.
And one missed, and the other one missed. And we had one last season, Diogo Gonçalves. He went to the MLS. Like, he was number 1, but I was number 2 after him. And
but how do you become number 2? You just put up your hand?
Yeah, I say, coach, look, penalties I can take if you want.
And then the coach asks you, says, all right, Kevin, nice of you of volunteering to take the penalties. How many?
Yeah, because it went wrong, and then he was gone, and somebody had to take a penalty, you know.
But you didn't have any track record before, right?
No, I actually had, and we had like penalty shootouts where I shot a penalty. I had one in the cup where I shot a top corner right, and then I had one in Sparta Prague for Champions League qualifier. That was a big game, a lot of pressure, because we were struggling that game away, and we got a draw, and then we had to take penalties. Then that's where our young talent Rooney Bardghji did a Panenka. But I also shot in this shootout, and I scored. And then he was like, okay, maybe he can take. And then Diogo was gone. And then we had a penalty away against Midtjylland, big pressure, and I had to take it. Then I scored, and from there on it was me. I missed once now, unfortunately.
Oh,
when?
Against Kolding in the cup.
What happened?
Really, really bad penalty. Really bad penalty.
Still, the stats
I scored after again, so I was really happy.
Yeah, that one was important.
Yes, so I had a penalty.
Because what would you do if you would miss the second
2 in a row?
one?
Yes.
That's mental.
Are you a specialist?
I didn't take a lot of penalties.
But how is that possible?
I think I took like 6 or 7. You know, my thing is, in all the teams I've played, like normally, also like Kevin said, you have like the striker. He always wants to take penalties. And for me, that's how can I say? For me, it's that it's normal. Like, if I need to take, I will take the penalty, and I did in Heerenveen for a while. I think I only missed 1 penalty.
From the 2?
No, I think from the like 6 or 7 penalties I took. Okay. But for me, it's like I will step up if I have to. But if someone else wants to take it, especially an attacker, it's okay for me.
So try to explain me, Kevin and Tom, what's the secret behind a good penalty?
I think it needs to be either in the other corner where the goalie is going. You can read that, or it needs to be like hard and high. You just could choose a corner and go for it higher.
Do you look what a goalie is doing?
For me, it depends on the goalie and the penalty.
But do you do research before a game what a goalie is doing?
He cannot give away all his tactics, you know.
I don't do research before the game.
And you?
No, me neither. I said to myself one time, because sometimes when I was younger, sometimes that's the mental part about penalties. When you take one, you're undecisive. When you walk up to the ball, a lot of times you miss because you're doing different things. So I've said to myself from the moment I started taking penalty kicks, before I put the ball down, I decide where I shoot, and I'm not changing anything. Because if I focus on the kick and I miss, then I can say to myself, maybe it was a bad kick or something, but I did what I agreed to myself. But if I change,
I know
in
the heat of the moment, you will always have the voice, why didn't I do what I thought I would do?
I did it maybe 3-4 times at least. I did that.
What? You changed?
I changed in the last second. Because then I see the goalie going that way, and then I'm like, I just put it maybe not as best as any other side, but I know he's going there.
Listen, I think I missed twice in my life. And then the last one was 3 years ago on an amateur level in Holland for promotion. And then I was number 4 or 5. And then I said, I will do
know why?
4.
Because he wanted to be the man.
No,
to take the winning.
Yes, he was
the winning.
But Kevin, if Kevin can choose in a shootout, he will take number 1 or number 5. Because he's, right?
I will take number 1.
Yeah, of course. And then the regular guy took number 1, and I said I'll do number 5, and then it ended up number 4. But then the thing was, I was standing like in the middle circle, and a teammate was standing next to me, and he said, "Hey Neil, he already went 3 times to your corner."
No.
And then I said, that's okay. And then I got the ball, and you walk, and I put the ball down. And the moment I put my foot next to the ball, I switched my body, and it hit the post, and I missed. Because I listened to my teammate.
Not strong enough mentally.
No, mentally not strong. Hey, but now I'm strong. I'm now strong mentally on a paddle court. Ask Tom. But going back to football, who's taking the PKs at Timnas?
Before it was always Asnawi.
Yeah.
He scored the penalties as well. But we didn't get a penalty kick yet, I think. So
will you step up if for the next time in March?
Well, let me, yes, but I also respect that if other ones they want to take it, because I only been there once, so I'm not gonna, I take it. If they want, 100%.
Okay, let's talk about that, because you made your debut against Japan. Yes. That was, I think, for many reasons, not very satisfying game.
Yeah.
Except if you made your debut. Can you take us a little bit back to that game? What it meant for you?
Yeah, when I came, like when I landed in Indonesia, it was like a whole adventure on itself. It was amazing. The welcoming from all the players was amazing, and the trainings. I was just excited to be there, and I was really excited to show and help the country. But of course, when we got to the game, because the trainings is okay, but when you got to the game, was for me a whole nother experience. What I've experienced in my career. The crowd when you come into the stadium and you walk on the pitch, when before the game to experience like how the pitch is, was a whole other experience for me. It was so amazing. Like the fans, they scream, they see you on the TV and they're like, hey, like for the first time. But was excited for me and really nice. But of course, when we stand in the tunnel, remember Tom, when it started to rain. It was really bad because it was so hot before.
Yeah.
But for me, I was happy when it started raining.
Why? You're bad in
more
hot?
Oxygen, a little bit refreshment.
Yes, like you feel a little bit more fresh. And then, of course, the game. I think we started really well.
You started so good.
Yes, we could have and maybe should have scored.
Yeah.
And then we got the 1-0. I think their first big chance. They scored, and then I got the injury, of course, and the injury was actually, when I think about it, it was actually so stupid of me.
Why?
I went into a duel and like Endo was playing a ball, and I just wanted to show like how aggressive I was, but there was no reason because I could never take the ball, and that maybe is still the youth inside me. I tried to take a ball I could never take.
But is it also that you want to? I can imagine we'll dig into that a little bit later, because you're so proud that you can wear the jersey of Timnas now, but that you want to show the people in the stadium, the people watching at home, how good you are.
Yeah. And maybe a little bit of a mix, but it's also maybe something inside me because I just want to show and help.
Yeah.
And then I overstretched my knee.
I felt sad for Kevin also, because the days after, he was trying everything to do like maybe if I have a good night of sleep, rest.
Yeah.
Maybe it's possible.
Yeah, you were still thinking about playing the second game against Saudi, right?
He tried everything, but
I tried everything. I was even I was the night before I went home because we tried everything like one day after. It was like we try recovery, physio, doctor, everything, but. I think I was going in the right direction. If we had a week or something, maybe it was okay.
Yeah, the 2 games are also so short.
Yes, it was 4 days.
I saw a lot of videos you watching the other game in the plane.
Yes, I wanted to watch the match in the stadium, but Copenhagen, of course, wanted me to come back to see how.
Yeah.
So I went home one day before. So I was watching it with Gaston on the plane, and
That's the guy from who takes the photos, right?
Yes.
he came documentary that comes out Friday, I think, or next week. Next
Okay.
week. For my first time there, he came from FCO. He came with us. But he had a laptop with him, and he said, "Let me try to find the stream with Wi-Fi." But I was like, "No chance." And then he found it on the plane in the air, and I was watching the game.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Yes.
But oh my God, I think that's even more crazy than sitting in the stadium, sitting on a plane. Did you celebrate? Did you celebrate on a plane?
I was nervous because every time we got a chance, like, put the ball in, put the ball in, we need to win this game, And I actually felt what I think Tom said it in either podcast before.
Yeah.
That you felt almost in the whole match that there was no chance we would lose that match.
No. I had to feel, but
it's hard to watch. It's better to play.
Yeah, for you, it's better for you on the pitch, right? Because
watching is for your nerves, for everything. It's so hard.
Watching so difficult. And then when Marcelino scored, Lino.
Yeah.
Gaston and me were screaming in the plane, and people were like, "What's happening?
Is there something with the plane?"
Yeah, something wrong.
Hijack.
But tell us, because I've known you for a bit, and you already told me how proud you are about playing for Timnas. But how did the process go for you about joining Timnas?
First, it was the plan that I would join now in March.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was first thinking about it, should I do it? But it was pretty an easy decision eventually. But then they called me if I wanted to join in November. Then I had a hard thought with my family, because family for me is number one. So we had a thought, like we talked about it, and then eventually I said yes, and then was a bit last minute, but everything worked out pretty good. And then it was like 5 days or 4 days before I knew actually I was going. So then I had to think about, okay, next week I'm in Jakarta. And so it went pretty fast and pretty smooth. So I was happy that it was done. And now March, the second one comes up.
Yeah. And tell us why it's so special for playing for Indonesia.
Yeah, it's hard to, I've said it before also in interviews when people ask me, it's hard to put in words sometimes. You have to actually experience being there, and then you can express it in better words or actually feel it. Mm-hmm. It's actually better to feel it when you're there. But of course, I'm super proud because it's playing for a country where your grandparents are from, your parents, and that makes me extremely proud. And I think my grandma and my grandpa are extremely proud that I represent Indonesia. My grandpa still has contact with me, of course. My grandma unfortunately passed away 2 years ago. So yeah.
And you gave your grandfather a jersey for your debut, right? For Timnas.
Yeah, he had I don't know how you say that in English.
A stroke, right?
Yes, he had a stroke just after I made my debut. And then when my wife, my daughter, and me had the chance to go back ASAP, we went straight away to see how he was and to support him and give him a jersey. And yeah, he was really proud, of course. I sent him all the pictures and videos of what was happening over there, and he was like, he really liked that.
Yeah. And I think, did your grandparents tell a lot about Indonesia when you were growing up?
Yeah, but when I'm younger, I think you're like, oh, I'm playing. Let me not hear about this. It's important. But now I'm more interested in all those things because you get older and you want to know about more things. And he lately, like last years, he's telling me a lot about what happened and what happened in his life, and he tells me stories about Indonesia. And of course, he was really young when he came to Holland. He still tells me the stories about how things went in where he grew up in Holland. So he tells me a lot about it.
Did your life change a lot now playing since you decided playing for Timnas?
Of course, it changed because you're now an international.
Yeah.
People like clubs look at you a different way. Of course, you're an international. I think it's a plus for a lot of clubs that an international is in the football club. Of course, my social media grew a lot as well. And I think everybody has that who plays for Timnas or is a social media Timnas. Because Gaston, this is a funny story. Gaston, Tom, everybody loves him who saw him, but he came, I think he had 10,000 followers and he went to 40K before we left.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
but his pictures were amazing.
Yeah, I saw all the pictures. I started following him because he made such a nice pictures of you guys.
He's really good. Maybe he comes in March, Tom.
Would be nice.
That's something with the federation. They will decide that
It
because
was so funny the first training when he arrived.
I know what you will
He
say
was
now.
soaking wet of sweat because he decided to put on a long pants.
Why?
Yeah, that
he had an explanation.
It was so funny.
Unbelievable.
The explanation was that he told me like we went outside the plane. We went because he stayed in a different hotel than us. So we came out of the plane and I went straight to the hotel and talked about like training is soon. I need to be ready for training. And they told me, yeah, you will have a running session only, but eventually I did 6K on the first training, 6 kilometers. And then he also had to come straight away the first training. So he didn't dress up. He didn't go to the hotel. So he went straight there. But I said to him, like after a while, I saw like drops coming off his head, like he was sweating crazy. But we went for a pause, have a water break. And then I was like, bro, you can have a drink, eh? You can have water. And he's like, yeah. Gaston is a really good guy, and I hope he comes in March.
Really great. It's great behind the scenes footage he did.
Copenhagen allows him to go, so let's see.
That's nice. We have some questions from
the fan questions.
The fan question. Do you want to do the first one?
I cannot pronounce the name of the one who sent it.
XYNCSTN.
Yes, exactly. What's your favorite place in Indonesia?
So far, Lombok.
Yeah? Why?
Yeah, my wife's family live there. They live there for 3 years now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They have a restaurant over there. I think they have plans to start a hotel over there. But I loved it there. It was like Bali is I've been there also, but there's so many tourists now.
Yeah,
it's so much that you cannot even go from A to B without being in traffic for so long. And Lombok was like uncovered paradise. It was amazing. We stayed in a really good hotel over there, and I also been to actually I have a shared spot with Raja Ampat. That's really far, close to Guinea, I think.
Yeah.
And that's paradise. You should look it up, Raja Ampat. I've been diving over there. It's amazing.
Really? You dive?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, cool. Hey, you said your wife's family have a restaurant on Lombok. Do you want to give them a shout out? Some PR on the podcast?
It's called The Well Lombok.
The Well Lombok.
Actually, for kids, it's amazing. They have like a playground as well. But they didn't have it when we were there.
But I guess we have some.
Do they have the social media?
Yes.
Okay.
And
we will put them in.
Yeah, we will put them in.
Lombok.
Yeah. And then people who are listening to us and live in Lombok, make a picture with it, and we put it on social media. Yeah.
Yes.
Next one. You will face world-class strikers in the Bundesliga. How do you prepare for that? Fatanali.m wants to know.
Same as I do now. I've played, it's not arrogant, but I've played against them before. Of course, it brings a little bit more.
You played against Haaland, right?
Yeah, and Kane. But I played, like a lot of big names already, but now it will be week in, week out probably. But I'm not going to change nothing in my preparation because I think that's not the right idea to change everything.
And what's your preparation? Do you watch a lot of footage of the strikers, what they do?
Yeah, I watch on the day. We get clips in Copenhagen. At least we get clips from the striker or the opponent you play against, or the whole team, and you can just watch who you want to watch. And then, but you mostly know all the players you play against. The league, you always play against them. But of course, big players like that, you don't have to watch because you see them in team.
And who was the best you faced?
Yeah, like now maybe De Bruyne, but before I played one time, like the most difficult I had it was against Mane when he was in Southampton. When he was in Southampton,
Yeah.
I can imagine that.
One time he took the ball and I went close, like aggressive, and then he put the ball in behind me and he started to run. And then I was like, yeah, I'll just make a foul. So I grabbed him and I felt like I was going on his back and he took me with him for 3 meters.
We need to find this.
That was crazy.
Who were you playing for?
Vitesse. We were playing European qualifiers.
Hey, we have to find it. Vitesse Southampton. Dix against Mané.
It was crazy. And then, he ran the ball over the back line, but I got a yellow card.
Dix on the back of Mané. I have to see this. All right, next one.
Another question from Thierry Maverick.
Okay.
In Indonesia, with the national team, we've played with 5 defenders.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're used to play with 4. So he asks, are you more comfortable playing like a center back or a right back? And maybe it's nice saying which system as well.
Yeah, so when I play 4-3, doesn't matter in which position I play in the back line. Of course, when we have the ball a lot, I would prefer center back because I like to play football, of course, from the back. And when we play 5, it doesn't really matter too. Maybe even 5. So I also like center back, but wing back is also nice because you can go up a lot, and I like that too. So it doesn't really matter to me.
That's nice.
Yeah, you can play in different positions. That's good, right? This is a really cool question. Ekop Yati, he or she wants to know, can you give us 2 book recommendations?
Are you a reader?
I want to be, but I'm not.
But I thought when I saw the question...
I said this one time in the podcast. You have people who read and people who don't read, and there's nothing in between.
That's true. But what are you?
My wife says the same. She says you want to read, but you never read.
I'm the same as Kevin. I've tried, but it's not for me.
What do you do on a plane? Watch a series.
Listen to podcasts.
Listen to the highway on repeat.
Yes.
I have a good podcast. The one with Giorgi Chiellini with Joe Hart. That one is also good.
Oh, this is cool. Who hosts it? Is this Joe Hart?
I think it's Joe Hart who hosts it.
With Chiellini?
Yes.
Okay.
It's only half an hour.
Oh, cool.
And he talks about the black hole that comes after football.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And that's something unspoken about that.
But
I also thought about.
That's really nice. But he has a master degree, right?
He started studying, I think, from 2006, if I'm right. So even when he was in his career, he said, like, when I was on the plane, I started studying and people were looking at me like, you're playing Juventus. And then I think you maybe saw the clip when he was on the podcast and they said he was in the school. He had to go to the normal class because his professor said, you will not get treated different than anybody else. So he went with 300 those people in one class, and then after 5 minutes he was in another room because everybody wanted a picture.
This is a great story. I'm going to listen to that. Are you interested in different sports?
My wife would say yes. I always say no, but she says you watch everything. Formula One. Yeah, Formula One I really like, but he also said I look even at darts.
So what's your top 3? Football, Formula One, and?
This is my top 2. I watch a lot of Formula One. I try to watch every match. Race.
You guys don't follow the Super Bowl, right? Do you?
No, I watch the final always.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Coming up. Yeah. Tomorrow?
Yeah, on Sunday night. It's the Super Bowl.
On my birthday.
Yeah, on your birthday.
I want to see the halftime show. It's Kendrick Lamar, right?
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, last question for you, Tom.
Have you ever thought about being a coach?
No.
After your career?
No chance.
No chance?
No chance.
What are you going to do after your career?
That's what the podcast really brought me a little bit like thinking, like, okay, what do I want? But I definitely don't want to be a coach because I think you're more busy than a player. And I feel like we don't have, like, when you have a family, I think we have less time with the family because we're away with football so much.
Yeah.
That I would rather do something else than being a coach.
Okay.
Maybe something in football, but I want to see if something interests me outside football, because I also appreciate my family and I really want to be with them as well. And I think as a coach, Tom probably knows you're more busy than the player.
Yeah. But you still have a lot of time to think about it, eh?
Yeah, but time flies, eh? I'm 28 now, so time flies.
He says he's 28. Time flies.
How old are you, Neil?
No comment. No, but
the time is flying, and before you know, my career is finished.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you come in the black hole. Then what?
Yeah. Then you have to listen to Chiellini in the podcast from So Hard.
Yes,
gives you
but
good tips.
I'm trying to find ways now to like search what I like or what I like to do. And
that's a nice process, also besides of playing football, right? Looking to the future. The Dutch word for this week. I think Kevin said something. Or do you have something else?
I've heard it already in the episode, so I'm curious if Kevin is going to say it.
You did,
You did one word.
Yeah.
I thought this needs to be the word of the episode.
You forgot.
Maybe continue
in the start of the podcast.
Football.
Chochma.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Say it one more time.
Voetbalchochma.
Yeah, voetbalchochma. You know the drill. If you want, if you think you can repeat what Kevin just said, voetbalchochma, then just let us know. Send us a voice message.
I want to thank everyone for the messages. I want to thank you for and the whole crew for setting it up.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the podcast, the ride. A lot of positivity. So I want to thank everyone. Maybe good to say, my friend Tim. He was talking about Conference League, Europa League.
It's because cards, right?
We're playing cards a lot. So that's why. And of course, also a special thank you to Bibi.
I had a great conversation with her.
Because
about the video.
Yeah, she doesn't like to be on camera.
No.
So she must have been out of her comfort zone, but it's really nice to feel the support, and we're really a good team together. I really appreciate those words. So that did a lot to me as well, and of course everyone, thank you for the kind words, and another episode done.
I think if we go another minute, you start crying here now.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No,
I know no, but I'm grateful for the journey, with Timnas, also with the start of the podcast, all the support, not only in the video now, but all the messages you get. I think Kevin, you experience it as well. It's like overwhelming sometimes, but I'm really grateful. So thank you everyone, and let's get this one in gold.
In gold. Good people get good things. I think that's the conclusion after your story. Kevin, I want to thank you so much. I would love to do this another time, but then in person, because I think we can talk for hours. You're such a good talker. You have a great story. You think about a lot of things.
You'll probably see each other in
March. Yeah, but then he has to focus.
I will see you. I'll make time for you, Neil.
Yeah.
But no, I want to thank you guys too.
Hey, and listen, this guy, his next 6 months, imagine that. Leaving his club with another title and qualifying for the World Cup.
Yes.
Imagine that.
I can win 3 trophies here before I leave.
And he's only 28, Tom.
Yeah.
He's only 28. But Kevin, terima kasih. I will see you in March. And Tom, thank you. Have a great birthday.
Yes.
Hopefully you bring some cake next week.
Yes.
I will call you, Tom, on your birthday, yeah?
Yes.
And good luck at Copenhagen. Finish it off in style with a title. And then we'll see each other in March. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you all for watching and listening. And you know the drill. Send some nice messages to Tom's birthday on Sunday. #Tom30. And then we'll see you next week.